Good morning. It's another good day. Every morning is a new day, new mercies, new chances, new opportunities. Don't let this day go without knowing that God is with you. He promised that He will never leave you nor forsake you. So remember that this morning. It's another word of hope today, and I want to start with a little story. About 20 years ago, I was much younger than that. I lived in the United States, immigrated from Egypt, and I lived a very full life. I worked a lot of jobs and got so many experiences, but then I ended up working for an airline. And the airline said, "Oh, you're bilingual," and it was so cool. So I applied for the flight attendant position, and I was taken and moved to New York City. Lived in Queens near JFK Airport. Was started picking up flights and travels, and it was pretty fun for a 19, 20-year-old at the time, but then it was pretty hard for me spiritually, and we can talk about that in another video. But during that time, and with the flights started to go to where I'm originally from, where I was born, and the country I'm from has a military service requirement for all male above 18, unless they have a special excuse, as they are students, or they are the only child, or things like that. I didn't fit into these categories at the time, but I also knew that because um, I am no longer living there, resident of that country, and I have my legal residency in the United States. I shouldn't have any problems. Now, on one of our normal trips to that country, I got stopped at the airport, asked about my military service, got accused of escaping my military service, and got into a lot of trouble at that time. And you can read that on the Salvationist. At one point, I shared my whole testimony. The long story talks about accusations. And have you ever been accused of something that you haven't done? I was accused of escaping military. I was accused of running away from my mandatory service. I had they lined up a few accusations against me that none of them I have done, and ended up putting me in the military and stuff like that. What happened at the time is my faith struggled a lot, and I was asking a lot of questions about God about why would you allow wrong accusations? Why would you allow people in strong positions and authority, and people in power, to accuse those who have no power? And how would justice work? And I had all these things go through my mind. But then naturally, I started to gravitate to the story of Joseph in the Bible. And it was a great encouragement for my life to see how Joseph was not only accused by Potiphar's wife, but he was also by his own brothers, and he was hated, and the plot was to kill him. Then it turned into selling him as a slave, making a whole story about him getting killed by an animal to his father, and the man is sold as a slave in Egypt, and the man is serving. But what he did is that he was walking in integrity and faithfulness, believing that the Lord is by his side, and that faith, that he didn't let resentment or anger to take the best of him. God started showing up in prison in Egypt. The Bible says that the Lord was with Joseph, and that's in Genesis 39, in the prison, and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with him and caused everything he did to succeed. This is phenomenal because um, faithfulness is a key, and knowing that the Lord is with me is a key, regardless of my situation. If I have been accused of something that I haven't done, or I am in a situation that is hard, and there are a lot of temptations to act unfaithfully or to act without integrity, maybe lie or do something that I shouldn't do to get out of my situation. Joseph chose integrity and chose not to let resentment and anger take the best of him. And he served there as if he was serving the Lord himself. So I learned from that situation. I was absorbing the story, and I've experienced something so similar in my situation, where I found favor with everyone that was dealing with me at the time in the military. I will give you the rest of the story in another video, but to encourage you this morning, God can show up in the worst situations you're going through. God is able to show up in the hardest times you are ever in. The only key to experience his closeness and his care is to live in integrity, and to still see that God is able to change your situation. I'm not going to go into Joseph's story. He turned his life upside down. He went from a slave and a prisoner to the second most powerful man in the whole country of Egypt, which was the greatest civilization at the time. And when we learn this, we learn that the key is faithfulness, not luck, not connections, not money, nothing of that. It's faithfulness and knowing that God is in it. And when I know that God is in it, and I am still faithful in the small things that God put me in charge of. He was in charge of the Potiphar's house. He was faithful. When he was charged in prison, he was faithful. Now he was in charge of a whole country. Be faithful, know that God is with you, and know that God knows the injustices that happen to you. Yet, maybe the reaction that God would do is not the same as you want. Maybe you want revenge. Maybe you want these people to be hurt, but maybe God has a different plan. He just wants to see you rise. He wants to see you succeed, and he wants to see you blessed. May God bless you.